So I had all the plans in the world to drive this bone stock, but some guy named Dean had other plans for me. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Crazy for KV's RC. I'm Tim. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a little while, but thanks for watching. Unless you guys have been living underneath a rock, you guys know what I have here on the bench. This is the Redcat Ascent. This is the one-piece body version. Pretty much kind of a straight body profile, less kind of comp styled. That was not on purpose. I did want the two-piece, but when I placed this order, unfortunately the two-piece one was sold out already, and I wanted to get this as soon as possible. Planned to have it. I've had the truck for about a week, and I just took it out of the box today. Been slammed at work, life, things like that. But I had some time today. I had all the intentions to go out and run it bone stock. I haven't done the overdrive gearing, haven't done any of that. Unfortunately, I forgot that it has a Dean's plug on it. Charged up an XT60. I don't know why. I think because I know it's a Hobby Wing ESC. A lot of times those come with XTs type of connectors on them. Luckily, I didn't go too far away to just do some very basic, bone stock running on it. But I was about halfway there, and I remembered this has Dean's on it. Didn't have any adapters with me. Lesson learned the hard way. I'll spare you all the details on the truck. You guys, there's been a lot of really good breakdowns. I know Exocage has been running his CCXRC, Harley Design, Skill Builders Guild, and West Desert Wheeler as well. All the kind of the big heavy hitters in the crawler / trail truck game on YouTube. They all have one. A lot of them got sent them. They had them early. So I'm not really going to touch on all the little details, but if for some reason you stumbled across this and haven't seen them, this is Redcat's kind of intro into performance-oriented truck. I don't want to say competition because there are some things that I think do detract from that statement. One, the fact that it's steel chassis rails. If they would have done aluminum or obviously carbon fiber, the price probably would have gone up, but it definitely would have performed a little bit better. It does have a pretty powerful servo on it. I think it's like a 35 kg, 42 turn. That's a 3-slot brush motor. Basically a Hobby Wing 1060. This is Hexfly, but it looks just like a Hobby Wing. And it does have a divorce transfer case, forward bias motor mount. It's got some bent links in the front, but they're not really bent for high clearance purposes. They're more bent to just make them work with the triangulation angles that are involved here. So what else kind of makes this a comp sort of truck? It does have a couple different battery mounting options. You can mount them right here down on the sliders, and then it has a big trail size battery mount back here. I actually don't mind that. I think if you want to run some hard lines, or maybe you go to a local kind of friendly no money involved type comp, just local rules, you run a shorty pack and get that weight down low, keep that massive the big trail packs out of there. And then this truck also is a great trailing option. It does come with some underdrive gears. I believe it's 20%. You can underdrive this truck. Comes with it right out of the box. I don't think there's instructions how to do it in the box, but apparently it's pretty self-explanatory. Like I said, this is basically the first time I've looked at it. I opened it, threw it in my truck, thought I had a battery charged, and unfortunately did not get to run it. The truck's got some really minimalistic bumpers. It does have internally sprung and externally sprung, kind of the mini T style springs on it. They kind of help keep it sucked down, but unfortunately you do lose a lot of flex. So there's quite a bit of good going on. You do get portal axles. They're Gen 9 axles. I believe the knuckles and things like that, brass, are actually the same as Gen 8. So I believe there's some interchangeability. I saw on Treel's website, they list certain things as fitting the Ascent, the Gen 9, and the Gen 8. I know the Gen 7 was different. I will say the transmitter they give you is really good. It's a 4-channel. You kind of get a little switch here for channel 4 that you could use for a winch. It does have a dual servo mount. The ESC is mounted up there right now, but eventually you could probably run that down here or go to a Fusion, a 2-in-1 Spectrum as well. And then you could run a winch up here if you wanted. A couple of different options. The sliders have some molded in half cab mounts on them, so you could probably run a power wagon or something on this fairly easily, if you don't mind the rear of it being exposed. That's not some people's cup of tea, but I don't think that looks too bad. Some of the cross bracing is kind of weird and big. I think they're just reusing it from other trucks. Like back here, the cross bracing with the body mounts on it, it looks like it's set up to run a fan. And I imagine, this is my first Redcat, I should definitely say that. But I imagine it probably, you know, those cross braces were probably set up to go over a motor to run a little fan on it if you wanted. That is some extra weight, and this is a steel chassis. It should be, I mean, it's really, really rigid. Like, there's zero flex. It's more rigid than most C-channel trucks, so I don't necessarily think that much cross bracing is needed, but time will tell. So if you're a repeat offender on the channel, you know that I typically, I don't think I have a truck that's in stock form, and I rarely even run them in stock form. I kind of know what I like, and when I buy a truck, I usually buy it with intentions of doing certain things. So this is the truck's first run. I kind of had a plan going into it when I bought this truck. I knew I wasn't going to leave it stock, so really getting a stock run on it wasn't that important to me. There's quite a few of those out there. You guys saw me power up the truck here on the bench. Obviously I literally just went back and forth, and we did just a little bit of a servo test. The servo seems really good, actually, especially coming off this 1060 ESC. You bump up, have a little bit better BEC, go to an external one that you can, you know, feed this 8.4 volts, which it will take. I think you'd be pretty happy with the servo, to be honest. The motor slash ESC, I can tell, to be honest, I'm kind of glad I didn't try to run it on the rocks. I think I would have been pretty frustrated. It's very jerky. We'll do some testing in the future with the stock tires. I can tell the foams are a little bit soft, but the tire, you know, compound, the tread, I actually really like the tread style. I think, you know, it's not the most aesthetic, but I feel like it's a style that would work pretty well. And it's a really good feeling compound. Kind of similar to like a Traxxas, the Canyon Trails. Kind of reminds me of that. A little bit sticky, not overly soft, but also not overly hard. With some good dual stage foams, I think you could get pretty good performance out of those. One bummer is that these wheels are just regular glue-on wheels. So in order to get them off, you're probably gonna have to use some of the degluer or try some of the other methods. How well can this hang with trucks that cost double, triple, 4 times what this thing costs? Now, $289 out of the box. Do I think it's gonna hang out of the box? No, I don't. I can tell you the ESC is a hindrance already. I'd like to get a BEC cranked at least for the servo. And I would like to shed some weight. This big battery tray is going to come out for sure. Probably these cross braces will get pulled. Definitely going to install the overdrive or the underdrive gearing. Probably going to go ahead and just throw a 1080 in this. And I may just look and see what kind of brush motors I got. Looking at probably a 13 turn, maybe a 16 turn. We'll see what the speed's like. But the whole premise of this is that I want to keep this as affordable as possible. Again, like I said, we're going to shed some weight. We're going to keep the body the way it is, at least for its initial shakedown, kind of see how it's doing. I might mess with the shocks. I honestly might pull that internal spring out just to get a little bit more articulation out of it. The last thing I did purchase, and what I said earlier, I prefaced that I think all the knuckles are the same for the Gen 8, Gen 9, and this Ascent. I did get some SSD portal covers. These are brass, pretty good weight to them. They're not crazy heavy, but they are labeled as Gen 8, but kind of looked at pictures, bolt patterns. It looks like they're gonna fit. So I'm gonna get to work. Like I said, we're gonna do the brass, we're gonna put the underdrive gears in, we're gonna switch out some of the electronics, move some things around, try to get it lightened up a little bit. I'll do a before and after weight on the corner scales. You guys can see its bias with a battery in it. I'll use the same battery over here on the sliders, so nothing's gonna change there. And I'll post that before right here on the side of the screen. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to work, and I will see you guys at the end.